I'm gonna keep y'all updated on everything RELL Seas, but if y'all want to help me out, just subscribe and like the video because it helps my channel a lot, so I'd appreciate it. Thank you. So 4 months ago, I made a video going over when I personally believe RELL Seas would be releasing, but a lot of things have changed since then. In those 4 months since I made that video, we've gotten a lot of new information about RELL Seas, and also RELL Seas has had some delays, which is obviously coming into play, reflecting the release date. So since that last video is outdated, I want to provide a more accurate estimation of when we'll actually be getting RELL Seas. So my initial estimation was early summer, which to me was early June to mid-July, and obviously if you're looking right now, it's clearly not coming in early July or mid-July. And for those that don't know why this is so obvious, the RELL Seas movie, which is essentially a production about developing RELL Seas, hasn't dropped yet, and the game is not going to drop until probably a good decent gap after the movie. But I'm sure a lot of you guys are kind of confused on why there is a gap between the release of the production movie and the actual release of the game. And the answer is pretty simple. There probably is going to be a gap for the testing phase because obviously the game needs to be tested, and they said it's going to be tested. And although what I'm saying here isn't confirmed, I'm very sure that we won't be getting the testing phase before we get the movie. Because for those that don't know, the movie is going to show footage of RELL Seas and actual gameplay of it. And that's supposed to be the first look we see of RELL Seas. So if the testing phase starts before it, it's possible someone could leak footage of it and it would make the movie a lot less special. And what you also might notice in the screenshot I just put on the screen, the movie was supposed to come in June, and obviously it's July now and it still hasn't came. And RELLson made an announcement about this a minute ago, and I think it explains a lot of the things I didn't consider in my initial RELL Seas video, but I'm gonna make sure to include it in this video. And I also feel like RELLson himself was a little surprised about this. And what I'm referring to here is the fact that with RELL Seas, which is something they haven't done in the past, is actually hire a lot of other devs and commission a lot of devs to do a lot of the work. This does make the quality really good since you're getting the best of the best at everything you do, but it actually makes the game come out slower, because not only does this cause a lot of complications where you have to, a lot of communication and back and forth, you have a lot of times where RELLson has said himself that he'll straight up get something that's not aligned with what he wants RELL Seas to look like and be like. So that causes a lot of reworks to happen and makes the game a lot slower than if him and his brother probably just did it, which I know sounds crazy, but it really is pretty true, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, I'm a YouTuber, I'm not a dev here, so I easily could be wrong, and this is just based off my understanding, but obviously RELLson also thought the game was going to be progressing a bit faster than this, because in March, RELLson made a post essentially saying that in 2 to 3 months, he wants the testing phase to start, which would leave at a June to July release date, because he said he wants 30 days of testing before the release of the game. Obviously, he also did say it's not a release date, it's just plans, but essentially he's saying this is what he wants the most optimal situation to look like. So with all this information out of the way, let's actually calculate when I personally believe the release date will be. Like I said, I believe the RELL Seas development movie, where we'll get gameplay and whatnot, will most likely release this month. I'm assuming mid this month. It could be later or earlier, but I'm gonna go from probably the 15th to the 20th this month, or somewhere in the middle. Considering the fact that the initial release date for the RELL Seas movie was in June, I'd be very surprised if they need over a month to get it out. So I'm pretty sure it will be coming in July no matter what. It definitely is possible to come out later than that, but I would be pretty surprised. If it was your average Roblox developer, I could easily see it getting delayed another 2-3 months, even more in some cases. But to be honest, since it's the RELL brothers, I definitely am biased, and I do believe they'll get it out pretty fast. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the RELL brothers are literally known for having high work ethic and being able to get things out very fast. They've also said things like, we've been robbed with yearly updates that should have only taken like a month to create, and honestly, I believe them. I really do. I'll get off my knees, but I really believe them. But back to the release date, if we assume that it's going to be coming somewhere in July, we can also assume that the 30 days of testing will probably happen shortly after. It's definitely possible that testing will be announced in the video, that it's going to happen literally right after. I feel like that would be really good for their marketing and whatnot, to get people to go and buy their subscription to try to get tester. But either way, I definitely do see it coming at least in a few weeks after the movie. And the main reason I assume that is they're not going to release the movie with the incomplete game. I'm pretty sure the game should be almost, if not completely, in a playable state. So just for this hypothetical, let's assume testing starts around August. They did say that testing would last about 30 days and then they would release the game, but to be honest, I really don't believe it will only last 30 days. I know they are confident in their abilities and they definitely know more about deving than me, obviously, but for me, it's just hard for me to believe that they're going to be able to fix all the bugs that will probably come with having 30 fruits on release, or actually 31 fruits on release, and all of the gameplay mechanics they have in 30 days. You guys also got to remember that RELL Seas is not your typical bandit beater with linear progression. The game is supposed to be a lot more complicated than that. You have a crafting system and just a ton of gameplay mechanics that are probably going to have their own bugs, which is why it's hard for me to believe that 30 days is going to be enough. So So me personally, I would put my expectations somewhat safe. So I personally am expecting like 2 months of testing, which would put us at like October. And obviously this is all just a hypothetical, and I very well probably most likely am wrong, just like I was last time, but I'm personally gonna believe that it will be coming somewhere around October. It could come in September if they really worked very fast, but I don't want to rely on anything like that, especially considering that you gotta expect the unexpected. One thing happens that leads to another thing that leads to a big delay, so I'm not gonna put any super fast expectations. And I could also see it going another month to November if something happens and another delay has to happen. So anywhere from September to November I could very easily see happening, but me personally, I'm gonna believe October. But when do you guys think will release, or when do you guys hope RELL Seas will release? Either way, I hope this is the last time I have to make a video about this and I actually get it right. But if somehow RELL comes through for us and it's even earlier than I think, I'm gonna be very excited, I'm not gonna lie. But let me know what you guys think if I missed something. Also, please subscribe and like the video because it helps the algorithm and whatnot. It helps support me a lot, so I'd appreciate it. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting all the videos. I appreciate it. Later.